All right, welcome back, people. Let's get this show going. I'm gonna start here and just say this. Um. Okay, I think I'm good to go. So let's start with the daily on the first pass. So we still have, and I covered this before, where when you have the red, which is the Gaussian channel, it's I want to put a percentage of 80% chance it's gonna flush down. And look, every time we get red, it does. And right now, it hasn't changed color; it's still red. And cycles are still saying there's a likelihood it'll continue flushing down. Now, I'm going to say there's a caveat here because I know I saw the Bitcoin maxis get a raging boner today and they were bragging about it. And I'm like, okay, that's how it is. Okay. But I just want to say this could pull down, but don't expect it to collapse. And I'll show you with using the historical charts that I've been presenting to you. There's a chance that this will continue, but not as bad as you think. Okay. Here with this one, this is the only I mentioned it on I think two maybe three videos ago that my cycles on this one are different than the cycles here, and I'm trying to decide which cycles are more accurate. And here's why: these cycles, excuse me, these damn chips. Hold on. Okay, so these cycles are saying that we should pull down into the trough of June, right? But I'll show you something that will be trippy. When you go into this system, which is a much more advanced cycle system, this one would indicate that we go somewhere into July as a major drop. And right now, we're just trying to do a final stupid little push before we do a real collapse. And this one in July would signal possibly that we're getting closer to 20,000. Now, for reference, you see this? This is the MACD. I just overlaid it on the actual chart. And notice, again, my favorite time frame, the 3 day, I converted this MACD into the 3 day. And notice it helps guide cycle movement here. Got bullish around here, bearish here, bullish again, bearish, and it kept you out of trouble. If you just follow the 3 day MACD, it kept you out of trouble until you got to this point. Now, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then right here, it went up, which it went up, and then you got to this point right here, MACD crossed down again, and that was the signal like, okay, you may have golden crossed here, but you're about to death cross because the MACD on the 3 day has a lot of power. And you see, it went down and it didn't cross until we got here, which again, look at the cycles. This trough, it lined up around this area, right? And that's what I mean. Cycles help me in direction. They don't give me price, they give me direction. And right here, which was the start of this trough, it went up, but right here it turned down, which was into this point. And look right there. I'm gonna just zoom in right there. I want you to notice how scary accurate this shit was. Give me a second, people. I need to. There we go. So you see right there, death cross on the MACD down, and look at the price down into the trough, and then out of the trough, bounce back out. And now look at the MACD on the 3 day. It's continuing to point down. So that's why I using that as a guidance. The cycles are saying if you compare them, what's the probability here that from this point it peaks into this top or it goes down here? Which one do you think is more likely? Well, that's why again use indicators to give you the probability. In this case, ah, hold on, there you go. In this case, the MACD 3 day continues to signal further down weakness. You see that? Like, look at that. Yeah, there's like it kept pushing down. So that means price should resume downward push, in my opinion. Now, the I'm stuttering here like a dumbass. The one thing that remains unknown to me is this: if this cycle system that I have is it going to be the one where we go into the middle of June, then we bounce out, or Is it this one where we continue this stupid little whatever the hell and then boom, we go down? Either way, both cycle systems are pointing to a downturn. They're not pointing to an uptrend, they're pointing to a downturn. The catch is which one is the correct downturn. And so this is where I want to just explain that I'm probably going to adjust my cycles according to which system is correct. Now, for those of you that don't study cycles, cycles do adjust. Think of it like this: we have the leap year in the calendar system, right? So we have 365 days a year, but I forget how many every so often every Jesus every few years we have a leap year, right? It just skips some shit. I don't remember the exact details. The same thing here. Cycles need to be tuned and retweaked every so often. And I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, cycles were great back here, where if you notice, they told me to expect a major downturn into this area. But you see, they were just saying into this area. It could be somewhere in here. They didn't say exactly at this point, which would have been April 2022. They said in this general area. It turns out it went further down into June 20th. So right now, this current existing cycle system is saying I should be expecting a potential flush down into the middle of June. However, the other more advanced cycle system is saying a pull down, but then the real, crash comes in July. Why? Here's why. Just follow the cycle system here. MACD here turns bullish. It goes peaks into this cycle. You see the price peaking. Yeah, price looks small when you do that, but once you stretch it out, you can see, oh, it wanted to peak out to this cycle. You go down, look at that, beautiful right there. Let me go. You see that? Bottomed into this cycle, but look, it was off. But cycles are meant to just give you, as I've said, direction. All right, let me change this song. I got tired of the song. Okay, so you see my point right here. This is what we call a trough, but look, I'm off, but this indicator was trying to guide me. But either way, I don't rely on one indicator. I've said it before. If you rely on one indicator, you're bound to get your ass handed to you. So, anyways, moving along, right there. Look at that. Cycles guided me here, even though the indicator said it was right here. But this time the cycles got it right. So you see, indicator was saying the bottom was here. My MACD 3-day was saying it's actually over here, which coincides with my cycle trough. And from there, boom, baby, and then we peaked out at this cycle. Then we go back down, run up, back down, and in here, if I were to stretch this out, you see fucking perfection at the trough. You see? So, anyways, because of the accuracy of this more advanced system, I have a potential feeling that this one might be the one that might be pointing to the real crash arriving in July. But then from there, we begin wave three. So I suspect if I'm looking at this from an Elliott wave pattern, this might be wave one, two, I see somewhere in 20,000, and then we're off to the real races, baby. Like, we haven't seen this shit take off. But if Garrett Salloway, if my boy Garrett Salloway is right, then if this goes below the 20,000 and Garrett turns out to be correct, then I would be the first to say kiss your 100, 200, 300,000 goodbye for several years because it's going to mess up my 5 wave count. And if that happens, I'll be the first to say, yeah, forget it, dude. It ain't happening. We're in deep, deep recession, 1930s recession. Anyways, yeah. Okay. In this one, you all remember, I'm just going to keep track of time now. I'm going to close the first one just so I know I don't need to go back to it by accident. 10 minutes in, I'm going to start rushing. Top. And I always do this, even though you guys can probably see me do this in every single video, but I do it to make this thing idiot proof. Top, 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 top. You see right here? Top, top. And notice the blue line has to go all the way to the bottom before I'm comfortable saying that, okay, we can buy back in. We're not even halfway down, people. That would align with this system that we got more pain. Yeah, of course, there are going to be a few peaks and bounces, but I'm not too confident. Anyways, moving on to the next system, and I'm going to close this one out so I don't touch it again by accident. All right, in this system, the MACD on the weekly, I already have the death cross, but the standard MACD is about to cross. So this is a interesting dilemma. This MACD down here is a modified MACD, and it said this was already in death cross. This normal MACD on the weekly here, which is the typical one everyone uses, is about to cross. So it could be that this MACD that's modified gave me a heads up one whole week before this one over here did. Either way, this weekend is another critical weekend. But now, again, my favorite indicator, is the 3-day MACD, and it's right here. That's why I put this. I use this as an investment strategy. If I have $100, I put $25 in. If the 1 day goes golden cross, I put another $25 if the 2 day goes golden cross. Then I put $50. I'm sorry, not the 50, but the other half, the other 50 to complete the 100. So it's just a reference point. Let me see. Hold on, let me put another song. I'm listening to music while I'm talking, people. I got so much on my mind. I gotta be listening to something. Um, okay, I think this one's good. Okay, so yeah, so the MACD 3-day is the one I care about the most. As long as this one doesn't golden cross, honestly, I'm not too worried because this one could be like this, and every time this one would be like this. I need this one to fully cross before I'm like, okay, we're in a bull run. But until that happens, I'm not gonna say anything like that. You'll just see me focusing on the 2 day, which will give me a hint of when this might turn. But because 3 days down, one is turning up, but two hasn't crossed. Therefore, excuse me, this price can still turn down. All right. So let's close this one out. Basically, as long as the MACD continues pointing down, I'm not too concerned. Price should resume downward push. But if the 2 day crosses up on the MACD, then you better believe I'm going to start looking. But let's go on. This one right here says that the shorting Bitcoin is going to rally, which means Bitcoin is going to drop. And same here. This one says it's going to get ready to pull back down, which means Bitcoin goes down, which means the short goes up. So I'll close this. Not much to say here. Um, Let me see. Nope. See, that one's still down. That's beautiful right there. So nothing to worry about. This has not bottomed, so we got plenty of more downside. Right here. Same thing. We're kissing that weekly level. Until we break below it, then there's still hope for the bulls. And I do mean hope. I don't mean it's a guarantee. I mean hope. Hope as it what's the expression from that video game? Hope is the first step in the road to disappointment. There we go. Okay. Okay. This is the one that fucking pisses me off. Renko refuses to give a sell signal. I don't know why, but it's annoying me because that the lack of a sell signal means this thing could flip like U-turn and go up. I don't want to see that. So Renko is annoying me now. But as I've said, Renko is the one that's unemotional out of all the charts that I have. That's why you see it set up in bricks. Like, it just doesn't care what your opinion is. If you needed a system that just tells you when to get in, when to get out, it's this because there's no emotions here. Okay, we're gonna close this out. 14, 5 minutes, baby. Let's do this. This one is easy. I can visually tell what's happening here. Some technicians would say, "Oh, this is a bear flag." To me, it's a rising wedge here, so I can see already this is gonna pull back down. Just visually seeing that now. For those of you, it's a bear flag. I'm like, okay. Nope, you got low IQ. That to me it looks like more or less like I'm sorry, yeah, a rising wedge because a bear flag would require this to be a little bit more like this, and we don't have that. Bear flag at minimum needs a three-wave count, so it would be like a one, a two, a three, and then down she goes. We don't have that, so I do not consider this a bear flag. I consider this to only be a rising wedge like that. So I'll I'll close it out. Let's see here. Nope, nope, not much. Let me see the other coin. The reverse to short Bitcoin. 15 minutes. Okay. Damn, no real pattern anywhere. Okay. Fuck it, no real pattern. All right, the dollar, the big bad daddy of them all. Yeah, you see right there, the MACD is weakening here, which means the dollar's getting ready to rip higher, and we could get a scenario where it's trying to go up and then it's like psych and it continues down. We could, which is what happened here. It was gonna go down, but then it psyched and it kept going up. So we might get that here, but I'm not too worried about that because historically we see that it should. Now you see that's a strong buy, so that means there might be more pain for crypto. But I'm running out of time, so this is the Kendall report system by Bob Kendall. I've told you all. There's only two technicians I follow: Bob Kendall and my boy Gareth Stalloway. Okay, I'm on the daily here. Hold on, give me a second. Let's do this one. Okay. Yeah, you see, even on this one, it's saying down she goes, but not by a lot. Which is why I'm in the camp that we might bounce at 25. And here's why I think 25 is a critical point. The system I've been covering heavily recently is the historical patterns, and you'll see where we're at. Perfect, perfect time to end this. So in 2021 is the left, top left, Bitcoin 2021, bottom left, dollar 2021, top right, Bitcoin 2023, bottom right, dollar 2023. And I'm just making this idiot proof. In 2021, we had a bear flag right after the rising wedge on the date of April 18. On the day of April 18, 2023, we had the rising wedge begin its descent. Instead of a bear flag, we got a bearish pennant, which went down, and I've shown you all how to draw it. I'm not going to repeat myself. So that was the historical play. I did the dollar. I saw the historical moves, and so I started mirroring. So here we are. You see the circle in 2021, same circle in 2023. You see this point right here running down? We have it right here. The problem is this is beginning to break, and I mentioned that on my last video. The historical patterns might begin to break, and they're beginning to break. You see this shit right here? I was not expecting this to rally this fast, right parallel to it, because that's not what happened in 2021. It took days for it to rally like this. The fact that it's happening right now, like right after, means that the patterns are now going to stop working. So you can see this last pattern was this run up right before the death cross. Here, run up right before the death cross before you resume the downtrend. So I'm still expecting more downtrend, and that's it. After that, this historical play that I got might stop working. It might not work anymore. And notice what happened in 2021 after that. It's the rally, the one I've been telling you guys. Let me put one final song for I'm about to lose you guys. Okay, I got a minute. So, anyways, in 2021, after this final pull down, we got a rally, which is why I say there might be a surprise rally coming up. But the thing is, the dollar doing this is very concerning because this is not supposed to happen this soon. So I'm going to stay here just to wrap up the video. So in summary, in 2021, we were still stimulating the economy. There were still some quantitative easing, the stimmy checks. We don't have that right now. In fact, we have interest rates rising like a motherfucker. So summary would be after I want to say after this Monday because it's Friday. So after this Monday, it's it's going to be extremely difficult for me to pinpoint direction. As of right now, I still think there's a little more downside. Right after Monday, it's anyone's guess. I'll circle back on Monday. Good luck, people.